Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don back in here with you on your Monday morning. It is a stormy Monday morning across East Alabama and West Georgia, even all the way up here into Northeast Georgia. We have a very strong thunderstorm in progress as I speak, and the power is flickering here at our studios on Waka Mountain in southeast White County, Georgia. So, if we disappear, it's going to be because of the lightning that's taking place outside. We also have a pretty significant power outage now in northern White County. For those of you who are watching us up here in northeast Georgia, up in the Helen area on Iskowie Drive, we understand that some major lines are down up there this morning, and we have two different areas of ground fire that's taking place. These lines are still live, and they're on the ground arcing. So if you're watching us up there in the Helen area, we believe this, for those of you who are familiar with Helen, we believe this is around there close to where the haunted house and the theater and the indoor go-karts. We think that's where the power line is down this morning. So avoid that area. If you're in a cabin up there this morning, stay indoors. The fire department is on scene. Georgia Power is en route, and hopefully they'll be able to get that situation under control very soon. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued by the National Weather Service. It'll take just a moment for this to populate on the screen, but this is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning in East Alabama. It is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for western Talladega County, Shelby County, southeastern Jefferson County, and southwestern St. Clair until 6:30 a.m. this morning. At 5:39 a.m., a severe thunderstorm was located over Alabaster, moving to the east at around 50 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is 70 mile per hour wind gust, and it will affect the areas of Hoover, Vestavia Hills, Alabaster, Bessemer, Pelham, Helena, Talladega, Sylacauga, Pell City, Calera, Chelsea, Montevallo, Childersburg, Columbiana, Wilsonville, Talladega Springs, Lincoln, Indian Springs Village, Vincent, and Harpersville. Good morning, East Alabama and West Georgia. We told you yesterday we were afraid this was going to happen, and we do have a rather significant line of storms moving into East Alabama this morning. Good news here is we don't have any tornado warnings. Though we do have some strong thunderstorms. I'll put the radar in motion so you can kind of get a feel for the way that it is moving. And you can see that new severe thunderstorm warning just populated there on the screen. And current, and then we'll take you down to street level view of this severe thunderstorm warning. And it's just now moving into the Vincent area, about to move into Childersburg. Eventually, it will make it to Sylacauga and Talladega Springs. The verbiage on this one, the motion is to the east at 49 miles per hour. The thunderstorm threat for this one is considerable. Maximum sized hail, 3/4 of an inch in diameter. Wind threat is radar indicated. Maximum wind threat here is 70 miles per hour. So this is a pretty significant severe thunderstorm, and it's in effect until 6:30 a.m. this morning. Again, that is a strong thunderstorm that has prompted a severe thunderstorm warning now. The closest county to East Alabama is going to be for Talladega as this storm moves off to the east. All of East Alabama under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 a.m. this morning. I'm going to take that watch off, which makes it a little easier to see, and then we're going to see if we can give you some times. And bear with me just a moment while we get this set up. And you're probably hearing rumbles of thunder off in the distance at our studios here in North Georgia. So I'm going to draw some times on here for you. And here are their expected arrival times. Move that over to this side of the screen, be a little easier to see. Wetumpka at 5:54, Waldo around 5:55, Anniston around 5:55, Oxford about 5:56, Hollins at around 6:01, Midway Community in Clay County at 6:05, Goodwater around 6:12, High Pine about 6:13. Let's see, Needmore at around 6:15, Chula Finney around 6:16, Millerville at 6:16, Ashland about the same time, Kellyton around 6:19, Heflin about 6:19, Lineville at 6:21, Hackneyville at 6:25, Pine Tucky up in northeast Randolph County by about 6:30. Now, understand these times are estimated times. Doesn't mean that that's going to be exact, but that gives you a general idea of the movement of the storm and the time it will be in your area. Good morning, Jackie in Newell. Chrissy's watching us from Cragford. We're on the air this morning because of a severe thunderstorm warning that has just been issued by the National Weather Service for this storm coming out of St. Clair into Talladega. We also have a special weather statement now for the greater Anniston-Oxford area. From Center Point back over to Anniston, Heflin is covered. Cheahaw State Park is covered under that special weather statement as well. And there come the whatabouts. Good morning, Sandra. What about Roanoke? Let me give you some Weather 101 here real quick. You see this line of thunderstorms? It is moving that way. This is Roanoke. All of this is going to move across East Alabama and West Georgia. At the moment, we have one severe thunderstorm. Actually, we have two severe thunderstorm warnings stretching from Montevallo to Talladega Springs back up to around Talladega. And all of that's going to rotate right through East Alabama. Will it be severe when it gets to Roanoke? I can't tell you that. Odds are it'll at least be strong. It may be severe. But the overall trend this morning has been kind of a marginal situation here. These storms have been really producing special weather statements more than severe thunderstorms. The special weather statement means that it's a little bit stronger than your average thunderstorm, but it's just below severe limits. A severe thunderstorm warning means it's topped severe thunderstorm warning limits, which is hail in one inch in diameter or winds in excess of 58 miles per hour. So anytime you go under a warning, that means that it is a significant storm. And I always preach you should treat a severe thunderstorm warning the same as a tornado warning. Because look, folks, wind doesn't care whether it comes from a thunderstorm or a tornado. Wind is still going to cause damage. Doesn't matter where it comes from. You get wind over 58 miles per hour, trees are going to come down. Those trees can fall on your house. So anytime you go under a severe thunderstorm warning, you need to take it very seriously, just as you would a tornado warning. And a lot of times, severe thunderstorms can spawn tornadoes with very little or no warning at all. This setup this morning is not extremely conducive for tornadoes, but a quick spin-up certainly cannot be completely ruled out. Good morning, Martha. Hobson Community. A little windy in Roanoke. That's the inflow. That is wind that's blowing back toward the storm. That's getting wrapped up in this thunderstorm this morning. Your wind's probably out of the east in Roanoke at the moment. That will change.
Yeah, I got an agent
Thank you for that report, Cody.
station trying to stand by with road.
I'm monitoring in the background a situation that's unfolding this morning up here in northeast Georgia. We have some power lines down in the city of Helen, and it's really close to a commercial structure. So I'm monitoring the fire department to kind of see what's going on there. If this thing were to accelerate, then I might have to leave you. But we're going to hang in here as long as we can. Brand new severe thunderstorm warning coming in from the National Weather Service. This warning is going to be for Cleburne and Calhoun counties. So now we see a trend that these storms are maybe on the or increasing in intensity. We have an uptick now with these storms. So heads up Clay, heads up Randolph, heads up northern Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers. These storms are once again pulsating. They're becoming strong again. So now we have severe thunderstorm warnings for Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, and St. Clair counties, and northern Chilton County of central Alabama. The warning up here in Cleburne and Calhoun is going to primarily be for this cell that's about to move into Jacksonville. Let me remove some of these boxes so we can kind of see a little bit better. And this area right here is where we're seeing the strongest hail indication. And that is going to be sliding off in this general direction. So heads up Jacksonville, heads up Anniston, eventually down here at Heflin. It's already storming up here at Piedmont. Coldwater, stand by. You're going to be in line for this. And then eventually in Georgia, we're talking about Buchanan, Bremen, down toward Bowden, and even as far south as Bucktown. I'll zoom back out, and we'll put that severe thunderstorm watch box back on the screen. And again, they're warning for, let me take that off again, and let's do this. They're warning for this entire line. And this line is moving in this direction. Get ready. Talladega, it's about to move into your area. Sylacauga, Childersburg, heads up. This storm is knocking on your door. Eventually, it will move into Clay. It will move into Cleburne. It will move into Randolph. The northern edges of Coosa, Tallapoosa, and Chambers at the moment may catch some of this. You'll notice to the southwest of this line, not much going on down there right now. But it could develop as it moves east. So all of Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers should pay attention to this. But at the moment, it looks like a Sylacauga, Roanoke, Mellow Valley North type of storm. Hello, Cassandra, watching us in Wadley. Cody is in Roanoke. Lake Martin. Hello, good morning, Glenn Morgan. Glenn's going to be a close call for you over there on Lake Martin. Love me some Kalijah. Grew up on Lake Martin. Lake Jordan and Lake Martin were the two lakes that, if I went to the lake, those were the two lakes we went to, and most of the time it was Lake Martin. Wind Creek State Park. Good morning, Elizabeth. Good to see you in here this morning. If you're just joining us, we are on the air because of a severe thunderstorm warning. For Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, St. Clair. Moving to the east. All of this is moving in this general direction. So this will affect all of Talladega, all of Clay, Cleburne, Randolph. Probably will clip the northern parts of Coosa, Tallapoosa, and Chambers. Eventually, it'll make it into Carroll, Hurd, maybe the northern parts of Troop. We got to watch this area to the south down here to see if it continues to develop, because it will also slide to the east. And this, if you're down here in Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, even Lee County, this inside this circle is where you're going to want to watch for the possibility of some strong storms. And let me go back to the radar so you can see that. This area down around Clanton is going to be the area that's going to affect you across East Alabama, across Tallapoosa, Chambers, and perhaps Lee of East Alabama. Now, just checking some things that are happening up here in Northeast Georgia. So I'm having to wear two hats this morning, trying to give you coverage for East Alabama and West Georgia. But my primary responsibility is up in Northeast Georgia, the county of White. I'm an emergency manager up here. We've got storms ongoing up here at the same time, so I'm having to monitor a large area across Alabama and Georgia. Good morning, Lynn Bearden. Good to see you. Yeah, Tracy's doing great. She's in the bed sound to sleep. Good morning, Sarah. Hey, Josh. Hey, it just goes along with it. Working on holidays and at early morning hours and overnight, that's just part of it. Good morning, Elzina. I hope I pronounced that correct. Watching from the Beulah Casita communities over there in Chambers County and down into Lee. Good morning, Sherry Smith. Good morning, Remy. And good morning, Reba. Yep. So our dispatch talking to one of our firefighters on scene at that power outage up there in Helen this morning, asking for an ETA of the power company. And unfortunately, that's not something the power company typically does. It's hard for them to do that because they have linemen that come from all over the place, and it's just really kind of hard to give an ETA. But we've got a particularly dangerous situation in Helen. We have two different lines that are on the ground. LZ, I said it wrong. Sorry. All right, LZ. We'll leave it at that. I'm the world's worst at butchering names. If it can be mispronounced, I will do it. I guarantee you. But anyway, we got a particular situation up there with these power lines that are down on Escowie Drive, which is close. I believe they're right there where the old haunted house and movie theater is located, or dinner theater, right next to the indoor go-kart track. the way it sounds, and they've got power lines down, and they are on fire. So the power company is en route. Just don't know how long it's going to take them to get there. This is up in White County, Georgia, Helen community, if you guys know where Helen, Georgia is at. Bibbs Ferry in the house. Good morning, Angie. Alicia, how is Wedowee looking? Well, you're going to be stormy here in a little bit. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Nancy in Rock Mills, Alabama. Hey, there's my buddy Beth. Good morning, Beth Eldridge. Good to see you in here this morning. Beth came by bike hike, last Saturday. Saturday was a week ago. And I got to meet Beth, took some photographs with her. Good to see you in here with us this morning, Beth. Tornado threat, it's not zero. It's not zero, but not high either. Bring that anxiety down a notch or two. You're going to be okay. You're doing what you need to do to be safe during severe weather. You're watching us. You're situationally aware. You're asking the right questions. You're positioning yourself in as good a shape as you can be to be able to ride this stuff out. So to answer your question, though, the tornado threat, like I said, not zero, but it's not particularly high either. Mountain community. Hey, Kay. Power outage up at Fort McClellan with that line of thunderstorms moving in. Thank you, Brenda, for that report. Good morning, Cecilia, Pennon, Alabama. Jean's watching us in Abanda. And Sandra's got us turned on this morning in Barfield up in Clay County. Kelly Wesson. Good morning, Kelly. It was good to see you at Bike Hike as well, Kelly. I really enjoy coming home and hanging out with my fans and my family, mostly my family. All you folks are my family. Maybe extended, but I consider every one of you my family. Jay's watching us up in Woodland. Go Cats. Jaylon is watching us in Lineville this morning. Sherry. How long do they last once they move in? These storms are producing a tremendous amount of rain, and they're moving at about 30 miles an hour. They're not going to be here all day, but I think probably for the next couple of hours you'll be dealing with it. Kenneth watching us in Chatsworth. You know, Beth, that's not a bad idea, and you bring up a very good point. You folks in Clay and Randolph, even down into Tallapoosa and Chambers, you got time if you've got something close by that you can put over your vehicle. If it's nothing more than just a quilt or a blanket, that's better than nothing at all. Obviously, if you have a carport, you want to bring it under the cover. To protect it from the possibility of hail. Now, I don't see a tremendous amount of hail in these storms, but you certainly could have some. And these storms have been cycling. In other words, they get really strong and they calm down a little bit and then they ramp back up. So even though I don't see a tremendous amount of hail out there right now, that could change pretty quickly. So thank you, Beth. That's a great idea. If you're back over toward Talladega, Childersburg, Sylacauga, yeah, it's too late. Even up there in Anniston, the storm's moving in on you right now. But if you're in Ranburne, Ashland, Lineville, Wedowee, Roanoke, Alexander City, Lafayette, you got time if you can do something pretty quickly. Happy Memorial Day, Chrissy. Jared's reporting rough weather in Anniston. Deborah is watching us in Valley. My whole house is rumbling and shaking from thunder that just... lightning that just hit. Kelly's watching us in Lula, Georgia. That's just to the east of where I broadcast from. Lula, Georgia. Go through Lula quite often. Going to Commerce and Point South. Good morning, James from Opelika. Valerie is hearing some thunder in Temple. Cecilia, you got it. Everyone thought, they were going to be off from work today, get to sleep in late, and then the weather radio goes off at 4 a.m. Yeah, I didn't go to bed till about midnight, and I was back up at 3 this morning. I knew this was going to happen. Heather, good morning from Craigford, Alabama. Linda, good to see you. Yeah, those weight blankets, that's a very good idea, Linda. Jennifer, good morning. You're more than welcome. Jennifer Malone, we got 2 Jennifers there back to back. Jennifer Malone says, thunder just started in Carrollton. Well, Jennifer, we've been talking about it now for about 24 hours, maybe a little longer, that this was going to be a possibility this morning. Good morning, Linda. Josh asking the question, how long with the storms? I'm assuming you're asking how long are they going to last? Probably a couple of hours before we get all of this out of here. And then we'll have to watch and see if we have any more storms later today. I'm kind of thinking not. Kellyanne says that her sister is up at RMC. Had a baby yesterday. Well, congratulations. Said the weather's kind of rough up there. Kevon, good morning to you up there in Ranburn. Jennifer's headed toward Ashland from Wedowee. You got time if you're on the road right now. Don't dilly-dally around. Head on over. You're going to see a somewhat of a lightning show off in the distance. Speaking of which, let's turn the lightning back on and see what we got going on out there. Oh, yeah, lots of lightning. Brenda says it's total darkness outside, heavy rain, typical wind for this type storm. Thank you, Brenda, for those kind words. That's precisely why we do what we do. Just looking at some notes being made over on the Weather Service chat room. Multiple trees down, road impassable. That's up in Cherokee County in the Tucker's Chapel area, if you know where that's at. Hoover PD is reporting flash flooding on Highway 150 at Highway 31. That's nothing new. That happens every single time it rains almost. Jennifer, how severe is expected to get? Well, I mean, anything's possible. At the moment, we have a severe thunderstorm warning up in Cleburne and Calhoun, and that stretches back down into St. Clair County. At the moment, we're looking at the Cleburne and Calhoun's severe thunderstorm warning will expire in 21 minutes. And we're looking at winds at about 60 miles per hour, possible, with right at about 3/4 of an inch sized hail. And then the other storm that's prompted the warning for southern Talladega over into St. Clair and Shelby and northern Chilton is capable. I'm sorry, I'm trying to listen to multiple things here. That particular storm is capable of 70-mile-per-hour winds with 3/4-inch hail. Understand, folks, radar sees the wind in the upper levels of the atmosphere at a 5 or 9 degree pitch. That radar dome cannot see all the way to the ground. It's up in the further you are away from the radar, the higher in the air that radar beam is going. So it measures the direction of the raindrops within those storms. So at, any distance from the radar, 2, 3, 4,000 feet, it's seeing what's happening at that level of the atmosphere. So when it shows you 70-mile-per-hour winds are possible, that's maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe up to 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere. Now, what happens is when you get extremely heavy rainfall in that type of wind, it can push that wind to the ground. And so you may see 70-mile-per-hour wind gust. You may not. You may only see breezy conditions if you don't have torrential rainfall happening at your particular location. But you get torrential rainfall and especially hail. If you happen to be in that hail core, that hail, if it's very dense, if there's a lot of hail, it can push that 70-mile-per-hour wind all the way to the ground. That's the way this works. Yeah, it may get kind of rough in Ranburne here in about 15 or 20 minutes. No question about that. Good morning, Connie. Skies are getting dark in Talladega. Should already be storming in Talladega. We'll take you in on Talladega right there, and you can see that we're already showing heavy rain right over Talladega. I don't see a lot in the way of hail. As a matter of fact, I don't see a major indication of significant hail anywhere, maybe with the exception up there just south of Jacksonville. Now, that storm moved into the Anniston area at 5:56. And we bring it current, and you'll see where we are right now. It's trucking on pretty good. Going to zoom back out, and you can see up here in North Georgia, it's turned into a rain event more than anything else. So we got to be careful up here. Places like Blairsville, Hiawassee, Tiger, Clayton, Helen. These storms this morning are laying down 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour. So it wouldn't take much to start getting some flooding issues up here in northeast Georgia. The main line is now pushed well south of northeast Georgia, so that any tornado threat, which is very small this morning, and damaging straight line threat has moved south of northeast Georgia now along this line pushing into North Atlanta. But we are beginning to see that rain issue develop up here in northeast Georgia, so we got to watch that now. But back down here across East Alabama and West Georgia, we're continuing to watch severe thunderstorm warning, which continues for Cleburne and Calhoun. And that is going to continue until 6:30, so about another 16 minutes. About another 16 minutes on this severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne and Calhoun. And then I can tell you that this warning back to the west also goes until 6:30, but not a whole lot going on down here now in Chelsea, Childersburg, and Sylacauga. Things have calmed down. I mean, Sylacauga's getting hammered right now, but that's about to move out. So we're going to watch and see what they do with this. If I had to guess, overall, this line of storms appears to be weakening somewhat. Yeah, we've lost the hail signature on this. If they do anything at all, they may go with a special weather statement now for Clay and Randolph. If they do elect to go with severe, it's probably only going to be the northern reaches of Clay and Randolph, with maybe they'll continue for Cleburne. We'll just have to wait and see what the Weather Service decides to do. And they should be in the process of making that decision as we speak. They did just continue the severe thunderstorm warning for Shelby and St. Clair and Talladega. They issued that statement about 2 minutes ago. The severe thunderstorm warning for Jefferson has been canceled. Good morning, Scott in Daviston. Good morning, Ted. Yeah, you got some storms over in Tallapoosa County that will be affecting Chambers probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. At the moment, they're not severe. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Bradley Martin. Good to see you in here. I'm keeping an eye on you up here. The thunder rolls. Good morning, Josh. Thundering in Alexander City. Yeah, you got some stuff developing down here. It is below severe limits, but several areas of heavy rainfall, thunder and lightning down here toward Wind Creek on Lake Martin and Alexander City. Again, back up here in northeast Georgia, we're beginning to see more of a rain threat now for White, Lumpkin, Towns, Union, Fannin, and Gilmer.
Radio engine 7. Fern Cove Road, 96 North Fern Cove Road, and reference to a tree on fire across power lines. Radio's clear at 717 hours.
And again, folks, just kind of bear with me. I'm trying to keep track of a couple of different things here: East Alabama, West Georgia, and Northeast Georgia. I got a brand new severe thunderstorm watch on the way. This one is going to include our West Georgia counties. That'll show up on radar here in just a moment. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 2 p.m. this afternoon for the following areas in Georgia. The watch includes 47 counties. Let me just kind of pick through this instead of reading all of them. Give me just a second. Okay, Coweta, Harris, Hurd, and Troop. Coweta, Harris, Hurd, and Troop. Muskogee and Meriwether. So those are the counties of concern in our area in Georgia that are now under a severe thunderstorm watch until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Here comes a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is going to be for Carroll County. The severe thunderstorm warning for Paulding County in northwest Georgia, Haralson County in northwest Georgia, central Carroll County, west central Cobb, northwestern Douglas, and central Polk County. This is until 8 a.m. Eastern. At 7:18 a.m. Eastern, severe thunderstorms are located along a line extending from Dearmanville to Tallapoosa to Fish Creek moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. The main hazard with this line of storm, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and penny-sized hail. This will affect places like Marietta, Carrollton, Dallas, Buchanan, Villa Rica, Powder Springs, Bremen, Temple, Rockmart, Hiram, Tallapoosa, Bowden, Mount Zion, and Brownsville. So that's a brand new severe thunderstorm warning now for West Georgia. And I'll show that to you on the map. And there it is. It basically stretches from Bowden all the way up to just south of Kennesaw and then back to just east of Cedartown. It does get Rockmart, Dallas, Bremen, Villa Rica. Carrollton, you're right there on the southern edge of that warning. Still waiting to see what the Weather Service is going to do with Clay and Randolph. This line of storms, let me take the watch box off and the special weather statement off. And let's see if we can give you some updated time of arrivals here. So this is the updated time of arrival on these storms. Millerville at 6:31, High Point around 6:32. We're looking at Ashland around 6:34, Lineville about 6:40. Ranburne Stadium up there in Cleburne County at 6:43. Bowden at around 7:45 this morning. Newell about 6:49. Carrollton around 7:53. Wedowee Marine about 6:55. Woodland at 6:59. Ava Community around 6:59. Humphrey Stadium at about 7:03. Wedowee at 7:04. Southern Union around 7:07, and Wadley about 7:07. Now, understand, Wadley, you do have some storms that are trying to get going ahead of the main line that's pushing up into southern Clay and right there around Motley, where Clay, Randolph, and Tallapoosa all connect. You've got a small cell developing there with some lightning in it. But that main line is still back in western Clay, moving off to the east. All right, so here comes a severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County. Let me put... And there we go. This is a brand new warning just issued now. This is going to be a severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County, Alabama. The leading edge of this line of storms is right there. And we're moving in this direction at about 30 miles per hour. Sherry says it's thundering in Cragford, rolling thunder in Allman and Malone and Randolph County. Thank you, Thomas. Talladega, you're in the process of being on the backside of all of this, so things will start improving pretty soon in Talladega. Good morning, Jamie Whitfield in Lineville. Kenny says there's a party in the bathhouse at Wind Creek State Park. Jennifer, light rain, 8 miles north of Ashland right now. And that's right, just very light rain, but the heavier shower's about to move in on you there, Jennifer. That gust front should be coming through at any moment. a moment. So brand new severe thunderstorm warning now just issued for Clay County. Severe thunderstorm warning for Clay County in east central Alabama until 7 a.m. At 6:20, a severe thunderstorm was located 7 miles southeast of Waldo, or 7 miles west of Ashland, moving to the east at 35 miles per hour. The hazard here includes 60-mile-per-hour winds. It will affect locations such as Lineville, Ashland, Barfield, Delta, Cleveland Crossroads, Cragford, Hollis, Millerville, Mellow Valley, Gunthertown, and Motley. We continue with that severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne and Calhoun. You got lots of rain up, lots of rain up there from Jacksonville all the way down to Anniston. That stretches back over into Cleburne County. Up there around Weaver, Jacksonville, Anniston, Bynum, Heflin, Edwardsville, Coldwater, Oak Level, and down to around Chula-Finney. That's where the line of storms at the moment is moving in. Extremely wet ride this morning, really, from Atlanta all the way to Birmingham on I-20. Not going to be a good ride at all on your Monday morning. Amber says it's thundering in Rock Mills. Good morning, Jeff and Hughley. Kayla says that they're just now waking up in the campers in Talladega. Kayla, let me spend a minute with you. If you're in a camper and you slept through what just moved through Talladega, I would seriously, as soon as the rain stops, get in my automobile and go to the closest Walmart and purchase a NOAA weather radio and make sure I keep that in my camper because you just slept through a storm that could have tipped your camper right over on its side. I'm poking at you, but I'm being serious at the same time. You need to check your weather awareness capabilities if you just slept through that storm in Talladega in a camper. Hail size so far has been penny-sized hail, nothing of any great significance. Hey, Jonathan Farr, good morning in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Go down to the, what's the name of that restaurant? The one that has the buffet down by the river behind the Skylift. I can't think of the name of it. It just left me. Go down there and have some pancakes for me this morning. Anthony says it felt like a tornado just crossed over his shop on South Quintard. See, zero evidence of a tornado, Anthony. You know, straight line winds at 50 to 70 miles per hour can make you think you're in the middle of a tornado, no question. But I see no indication of a tornado up there in Calhoun. Good morning, Donald in Dallas, Georgia. It's about to storm in Dallas, Georgia. That's what I can tell you. Extremely heavy rain and lightning in Jacksonville, no doubt. Good morning, Jack. Carrollton, Georgia, hearing thunder off in the distance. It's coming your way, Leanne. Hey, that works for me, Kayla. Pancake House. Pancakes in Gatlinburg just taste better for some reason. Not sure why that is, but Will, your raise is on the way, my friend. It'll be here July 1, and no to the second request. But it's good to see you are watching this morning. Oh, and while I have my dispatch center watching us this morning, let me just show you what's going on up here in northeast Georgia. This has turned into more of a rain threat now for northeast Georgia. The wind threat, not as significant as it was when the main line pushed through about an hour ago. But now we have a flooding threat up here in northeast Georgia with very heavy rainfall setting up across White, back up into Rabun, Towns, Union County, back over into Lumpkin, Fannin, and Gilmer. If this area of rain sits here much longer, because this morning the rain is producing, the storms are producing rain at the rate of 1 to 2 inches per hour. So if this mass, excuse me, if this mass of rain sets over northeast Georgia very much longer, inside of that circle I just put on the screen, it'll show up in just a few moments, then we could have some problems with some potential flooding up here in northeast Georgia. There it is. So that area is an area of concern with possibly some flash flooding that could take place over the next couple of hours up here in northeast Georgia. I know they've been dealing with a pretty significant situation up in Helen. Sounds like the power lines finally tripped the circuit up there, and we no longer have a fire. But we had some high-tension lines go down on a Scally Drive up in Helen that was a problem there for a little while. But it sounds like that situation maybe is a wee bit better at this time. So let me take you back down to East Alabama, West Georgia. We have a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for the Carrollton area. For our coverage areas, we're talking about Carroll down into portions of Heard County and then back over toward Meriwether. That's going to be locations like Dallas, back down to Bremen. Carrollton, you're right on the southern edge of it. Douglasville, you're right on the edge of it as well. And then in Alabama, we have that severe thunderstorm warning for Cleburne and Calhoun. Yeah, for this thing to be moving east at 30 miles per hour, it sure has been hanging out in the Anniston-Oxford area for quite some time. I'm not so sure that we don't have some back building going on up there on I-20. Just copious amounts of rain, really from the Georgia state line all the way over to around Center Point on I-20. Just an absolute monsoon. You do not want to be driving on I-20 really between Birmingham and Atlanta. If you're down here in Cleburne, Randolph, Clay, and you got business in Birmingham or Atlanta, if you can cancel it, I would cancel it, because you just do not want to be up here on the roadway this morning. Extremely dangerous with all that rain that's taking place up there. Robinson RV in the house this morning. Good morning, Catherine. Lightning and heavy rain in the Almond Malone area. Lynette, Alabama. Good morning, Terry. Dickert, there's hope. Amy's watching us in Lynette. Have you ever eaten at Partners Pit Barbecue? Great catfish. Where is that at? I am a restaurant connoisseur. There are probably not too many places I have not consumed. Thunder making my door hinges rattle in Jacksonville, I bet. Daryl watching us from the Tallapoosa River in Wadley, Alabama. Ricky Collins, good morning from Noonan, Georgia. Hearing some rumbles of thunder. Well, good morning, Mayor Donna McKay. Good to see you in here. And again, I do this every chance I get. Thank you, Wadley, Alabama, for your support that you give us here on Dr. Don's Weather. Wadley is just too kind to us, and we appreciate everything that you guys do to support us over there on the West Bank in Wadley, Alabama, on the west side of the Tallapoosa River. Sherry Smith is watching us in Lineville. Donald is in Dallas, Georgia. Lots of thunder and rain in Heflin. And Katie's watching us in Ranburne. It is rough in Ashland. It is rough in Ashland. You've got a severe thunderstorm warning. And there you are, Ashland. You got very heavy rainfall right on top of downtown Ashland, raining heavily down at Harkins Crossroads. Rain just moving in up there at Clay Central, or Central Clay High School. You have to forgive me, I'm old school. Rain about to move into Lineville. Heavy rain up at Bowden Grove, Highland, Concord, Campbell Springs, Haynes Crossroads, Union, about to move into Needmore. Maybe some hail up there on top of Mount Cheehaw. We pull back out. You see the storms are filling in nicely in Randolph County. This line is becoming somewhat broken, but we're seeing storms form out ahead of the line across Randolph County. So we have very heavy rainfall now in northern Tallapoosa, between New Site and Daviston out there on Highway 22, Horseshoe Bend State Park. Very heavy rain at Motley, Wadley, Corinth Community, Shiloh, just west of Milltown, just north of Dickert, between Dickert and Friendship Community and up toward Cornhouse Creek. We have a heavy shower there, just north of downtown Roanoke, up around the radio station on 431. And then we have spotted showers over on the eastern side of Randolph, up County Road 87, near Potash, Napoleon. Light showers at the moment in Woodland. That'll pick up. And then some heavier showers up the northeast corner of Randolph, just east of Pine Hill, stretching all the way up into Cleburne. But the heavy concentrated rain is still back over in Clay, moving off to the east. And we'll put this in motion so you can kind of get your sense of direction together here. Lightning and rain starting in West Roanoke. And that's the current shot right there. And you see that line as it moves into Ashland and now over to the eastern side of Clay County. No warning for Randolph County. We do have a warning in effect for Clay. This will continue until 7 a.m. So we've got about 21 minutes left in this warning for Clay County. No warning for Randolph just yet. And, you know, if I had to roll the dice right now, I don't see, at the moment, I don't see the need for a severe thunderstorm warning for Randolph. A special weather statement may be plausible here for Randolph, but this line is really appears to have weakened some. Maybe from Ashland up to Delta, it's still pretty strong, but I think it's likely going to be below severe limits. Hail probability is 60%, severe hail is 0. And then we're not seeing any hail indication down here in the southern part of Randolph right now. Weather Service must be monitoring Dr. Don's weather this morning. Here comes a special weather statement for Randolph County. Hey, when you're good, you're good. A strong thunderstorm will impact Randolph County through 7:30 this morning. At 6:38, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm over Lake Wedowee, moving to the east at around 55 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is wind gust 50 to 55 miles per hour. Gusty winds could knock down tree limbs and blow around unsecure objects. Locations in the path of this storm include Roanoke, Wedowee, Lake Wedowee, Wadley, Woodland, Malone, Marston's Crossroads, Foster's Crossroads, Crystal Lake, Corinth, Graham, Dickert, R.L. Harris Dam, Rock Mills, Big Springs, and the Roanoke Municipal Airport. Cannot leave out the Roanoke International Municipal Airport. Donald, before we completely get everything over with, probably an hour and 15 minutes. Glenn, Georgia. Yeah, it's all coming your way, Kay. Lots of thunder in Dickert. Ann says it just hit level roads. Don't see us. Well, let's see. Hang on. Let me zoom out. Don't see us. Well, that's not a severe storm down there in Clanton. That is just rain for the most part. Let me go back to the Birmingham radar. There's a good opportunity to see all the counties under severe warnings at this hour. And it's all right here in East Alabama. No, that stuff down there in Clanton is not severe. That's just rain. Now, right there on top of Mount Cheehaw, let me look at something here. That is broad, but I do see some rotation right on top of Mount Cheehaw. Right there at Mount Cheehaw State Park. Probably not a good place to be at the moment. I suspect whether there's any rotation or not, we've got some significant winds right there. There's some 44 mile per hour outgoing and 2.4 incoming. That's not too significant. Let me just look around here for a minute. 54 mile per hour incoming and 33 outgoing. So if there's something going on up there at Mount Cheehaw, it's going to be right there. Thunder and lightning on Dogwood Circle in Roanoke, Alabama. I'm a little bit familiar with that, Sarah. Just looking at the National Weather Service chat room, no discussion about this, but at least the radar is showing a mesoscale and also potential rotation right there now just east of Cheehaw State Park. So that, if it continues to the east, you folks up there northern Clay, and I'm talking Needmore, north of Delta, be prepared up there. And we do have a little bit of an inflow notch right there as well. Going in right there. And if there is something going on, it would be in that general vicinity. And it's kind of moving. That was a horrible attempt at drawing a line. It's moving in that general direction. So you folks over here in Randolph, Pine Tucky, Wildwood, no formal warning here. But at least radar is indicating the possibility of some rotation in this storm. You do have a severe thunderstorm warning, but nothing as far as a tornado is concerned. And we really don't have a tornadic setup this morning. But I just got to tell you, this does look a little bit. This does look a little bit on the suspicious side, especially with that inflow notch. And then switching back to the base velocity, it's very broad. No question we've got some very strong winds up here on top of the mountain. But we do have ingoing and outgoing winds side by side, though it's not very tight at all. So right now this just looks like a rotating thunderstorm. And that's going to move across extreme northern Clay, and probably down into northern Randolph. Yeah, I just don't see. I mean, there's certainly some 50 and 60 mile per hour winds up there on top of the mountain, and now over on the eastern side of Mount Cheehaw. Again, folks, that doesn't mean it's making it to the ground. I mean, I would certainly think that 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gust is plausible up there, and some of that 60 mile per hour stuff could be making it to the ground. Beginning to see that hail core tighten up again up there around Chulafini, maybe back up toward High Point. Just a slight chance of some hail down there around Wadley, maybe just a little bit south of Wadley, moving in probably in the Abanda area about right now. Special weather statement for Randolph. So the good news here is that we got a special weather statement for Randolph instead of a severe thunderstorm warning. They've been warning for every county downstream of this line of storms for the last hour or so. But now they're gone with the special weather statement for Randolph, which is an indication that, and it's just exactly what I said a few moments ago, that the southern end of this line really has weakened significantly just in the past 30 minutes or so. The strongest part now is going to be, please forgive the artwork, I know that's horrible, but that is the absolute strongest part of this storm, and it's moving in this general direction. Heads up Carrollton. Northern Randolph, mostly in Cleburne and Carroll. If there's going to be any issues from this line of storms, that's where it would be. Yeah. Maybe extreme northern herd. This stuff in Randolph is below severe limits at the moment. National Weather Service does continue. Oh, no, I'm sorry. The National Weather Service just canceled the severe thunderstorm warning for Clay, so that's good. tremendous number of trees down in the Hoover and North Shelby area. That happened when this line that's moving through Cleburne and Randolph moved through Birmingham about an hour and 20 minutes ago. Walt just dropped off a load of chickens and coming. He's headed back to Wadley. You're going to be driving into some weather there, Walt. I got a load of chickens. I'm a new chicken farmer, or should I say I'm a new hen dad up here in northeast Georgia. That's the backyard kind. We don't have chicken houses. I got a coop. Raining and thundering and lightning in Dallas, Georgia. Serious thunder in Wadley. Greg's reporting some significant wind in the Swag community. Power flickering in the Abanda area. Good morning, Angie. Good morning, Ann. Good morning, Angie Johnson. Good to see you. Nothing severe in Randolph. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning now for, I believe this is going to be Heard County. And it is. Severe thunderstorm warning has now been issued for northern Fayette, Carroll, Douglas, Heard, Coweta, southwestern Fulton until 8:30 a.m. At 7:49, that's Eastern Time, severe thunderstorms were located along a line extending from near Douglasville to near Carrollton to Corinth, moving to the southeast, more east than southeast, but moving southeast at 40 miles per hour. 60 miles per hour wind gust and penny-sized hail will be possible. Locations in the path of this storm include Noonan, Douglasville, Carrollton, Fayetteville, Franklin, the city of South Fulton, Peachtree City, Union City, Villarica, Fairburn, Palmetto, Grantville, Bowden, Mount Zion, Whitesburg, Ephesus, Central Hatchie, Moreland, and Sharpsburg. Again, that is a severe thunderstorm warning now. Interesting how Randolph just got completely skipped over here. Golly, I want to talk about that, but I probably shouldn't. Because this is not the first time that's happened. I used to be, I was the EMA director in Randolph County for several years back in the 90-somethings. And I can't tell you how many times we would have severe weather move through, get nothing from the Weather Service, and all of a sudden Peachtree City pulls that trigger and issues a severe thunderstorm warning. And I get that does happen sometimes, but almost every single time it just doesn't make sense to me. I think Peachtree City's level of tolerance for severe weather is a little bit lower than the National Weather Service in Birmingham. And that's just all I'm going to say about that, because I love my folks in Birmingham and Peachtree City, but golly, this happens time after time after time where you don't get a warning for Randolph. The same storm prompts a warning for Heard County. But anyway, enough about that. Thunder and lightning in Wadley, not as bad as of now, sir. Not as bad as of now. Okay, thank you, Dwayne. Good morning. I don't know about that second round. That is going to be extremely conditional. If I had to go to the bank with it right now, I'd say no. But we will see. It depends on how much the atmosphere can recoup from this stuff this morning and how much sunshine we get. Deborah says Morrison's Crossroads getting pounded right now. Yeah, Kay, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning. That warning is in effect until 7:30 this morning. Storm is moving to the southeast at 40 miles per hour. Maximum size hail expected with this storm is 3/4 inch. And maximum wind gust expected around 60 miles per hour. Now, that doesn't mean that everybody's going to see 60 mile per hour winds. But somewhere along this line, there could be pockets of 60 mile per hour straight line winds. That can bring down trees, which can fall on houses, bring down power lines, and cause power outages. Pitch black dark at Roxton at 6:56 a.m. Good morning, Mickey Nord. Storming hard at Hollis Crossroads. The power's out up there. Thank you, Christy. Angie says it's calm and abandoned now. Yeah, this storm's moving to the east pretty rapidly. I mean, that stuff that moved through Abanda is the extreme southern edge of this storm system. There's just not a whole lot down there. You do have heavy rain still ongoing on 77 just south of Abanda. And you've got another very skinny line. It's not very wide at all, coming through Tallapoosa that will move through Abanda in about 10 minutes. And then behind that, just rain. And it stretches all the way back to central Alabama. And it's mostly light rain. But up here in Randolph, you got some pretty heavy thunder going on. Around Roanoke, thunder and lightning out there on the west side. Right there on Highway 22 from Broughton Ridge down to about High Pine, you've got a pretty good pocket of thunder and lightning taking place there. Maybe some hail. Now we have a hail core showing up just west of downtown Roanoke. We'll take you in street level view of this. And let me put on some road names. Out there on Louanna Road near McKinley Drive. Louanna Road near McKinley Drive. We likely have some, it would probably be penny-sized hail. Out there in West Roanoke, that's where I'm talking about. Just east of Shady Creek Church Road. Just north of Louanna Road, near McKinley Drive, is where the hail core is showing. But again, that's not a significant-looking hail core. Over in Heard County, near New Hope Road, Brown Road, near the Adamson community, Jim T. Mickle Road. This would be just northwest of Texas. Maybe some hail occurring there. Up in North Randolph, northeast Randolph, just east of Woodland, County Road 460. County Road 103, County Road 461, just north of Liberty East Baptist Church. We may have a pocket of hail occurring there. Maybe some small hail up at extreme northeast Randolph, County Road 92, near Graham. And then in Cleburne, County Road 71, County Road 43, County Road 631. Maybe some hail occurring up there. Clay County, things are clearing up for you. I mean, you still got rain, but nothing of the severe variety. So they've canceled that severe thunderstorm warning for Clay. So at the moment, we have a special weather statement for Randolph, and that line is about to move on into Heard County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Heard County and for Carroll. We zoom out a bit, and there's the big picture. Ranburn, you probably just went through the strongest part of this storm. No question about that. I mean, look at that hail core. And it's right there in Ranburn now, maybe a little bit to the south of Ranburn, all the way down to the Randolph County line. County Road 49. This is Cleburne County. County Road 643. County Road 680. County Road 98. Right there along Highway 46 and south, all the way down to the Randolph County line, and then over to the Georgia state line. And in Carroll County, we're talking about Gay Road, Sandy Flat Road, Hosey Road, Butler Road, eventually Watts Road, Dot Road, Fountain Road, Highway 100, at Bucktown up to about Bowden will be where this hail core will move over the next few minutes or so. So, yeah, no question, the heaviest part of this storm at the moment is certainly in extreme southeastern Cleburne, about to move into Georgia. And then down here in Heard County, just west of Franklin, we have a hail core. So the Weather Service already canceling counties from the severe thunderstorm watch. And they just canceled Chilton County back over in central Alabama. So that's what will happen now. We have let me go back to put the watch back up there. And so you see all these counties in orange. That's a severe thunderstorm watch. And you'll start to see these counties released from this watch. They'll start releasing a bunch of counties here in a few minutes, because everybody that is really, if you want me to be honest with you about it, everybody from this white line back in this direction, the threat of severe weather has ended. And as soon as this line gets out of Randolph County completely into Heard County, then the threat for severe across Randolph pretty much has ended. I mean, we're going to have to see. Yeah, see, all this stuff up here in I-20 is moving due east. And maybe is even taking on a little bit of a northeast motion there toward the end of that loop. So everything, Talladega, Clay, Coosa, Tallapoosa, Chambers, you're in pretty good shape here. It looks like the severe threat is ending for you. Now, what does this stuff down here in Autauga County do? We'll keep an eye on it. That could potentially end up over here in Lee, but right now, none of that stuff is showing any signs of going severe. Yeah, that hail core has moved on into West Georgia. It's out there around High Point, just south of the I-20, Interstate I-20, right in that general area where 100, where the Highway 100 interchange is on I-20 is where that hail core is right now. Dallas, Georgia. Yeah, you're no longer under a severe thunderstorm warning. You're just outside of this special weather statement to your southwest. Yeah, but the gust front's already moved through Dallas. You mean you're going to have periods of rain for another probably 30 minutes to an hour, but nothing severe there. Lots of thunder still in Roanoke. Well, the heaviest part of that storm is pulled well to your northeast now. It's over there around Wehatkie and Rock Mills. About to move on into southern sections of Heard County. So weather should be improving in Roanoke, Wedowee, Woodland. Yeah, I mean, you got some rain. You still got rain back, stretching all the way back to about Childersburg. So rain will continue for at least another hour. But the severe threat is ending quickly across Randolph County, if not completely. Yeah, I don't see much going on down there in Standing Rock. I mean, you've got, if you're up there in the northern burbs of Standing Rock, you could be catching that tail end of that storm at Bacon Level. But, yeah, nothing severe in the Standing Rock area at all. Bottom fell out in Newell. You should be in a little better shape right now, though. It looks like the heaviest rain's moved on into Georgia. Allison, that's a very good idea. Time to go back to bed. Kevon is telling us that Ranburne is settling down. Thank you. Appreciate you being in here with us this morning. Maybe you can hear the thunder rolling up here in northeast Georgia. We've got more thunder outside. I thought things had calmed down. Let me go up here and look. I'm going to switch back to Atlanta. And if you have travel plans today over into central, middle Georgia, severe thunderstorm watch all the way over, really all the way up to Toccoa and stretches down to around Augusta, Waynesboro, back up to around Macon and back to Columbus. That is a severe thunderstorm watch for a good section of middle Georgia. Yeah, we've still got a lot of rain up here and some thunder and lightning as well. So I still say we have a flooding threat across northeast Georgia over the course of the next several hours. And again, looking back at our East Alabama, West Georgia situation, very heavy storms now stretching from the Heard County, Troup County line all the way up through Franklin, Central Hatchie, and then up into Carroll County, up to around Carrollton. And all of this is moving to the east. If you are downstream in places like Peachtree City, Palmetto, Harrelson, this is headed in your general direction. Very heavy rainfall up there on I-20 at Douglasville. I'm telling you, folks, you do not want to be on I-20. I mean, that's a no. That is a hard stop no for I-20 this morning. It's ugly out there. And this is going to continue to be that way for quite some time. And the heaviest part of all this about to move into downtown Atlanta. So if you even thought about traveling toward Atlanta in the next couple of 2 or 3 hours, don't do it. You're taking the situation into your own hands, and I highly suggest you don't do it. Yeah, Conyers, things are going to continue to go downhill for you over the course of the next couple of hours. Yeah, Elaine, it didn't really fall apart. It's just moved away. The storms have moved out of Randolph now into Heard County. So other than some light to moderate, occasional moderate rain, Randolph County looks good now. Campfire exploring in Montgomery, Alabama, capital city of the great state of Alabama. I was born and raised in Prattville, so I'm very familiar. My first radio job was at WLWI in Montgomery, Alabama. That was back in the 1980-something. Just leave it at that. But yes, all of the severe stuff has been north of Montgomery today. This morning so far. Really, the heaviest and most severe significant weather was focused right along I-20 and has now pretty much worked its way into West Georgia. Question mark about later today. I think that there is a decent chance that we don't see more severe weather later today, but it's all going to depend on how much the atmosphere can recover from this morning's activity and whether or not the atmosphere can destabilize this afternoon. We will see. But if I had to put some money on it right now, I would say we probably won't see severe weather this afternoon, at least not widespread. Now, could there be a rogue severe or strong thunderstorm or two somewhere across central or south Alabama, central or south Georgia, maybe even as far north as North Georgia? Yeah, it's possible. But I don't think we're looking at a widespread severe weather outbreak. Of course, we're going to be monitoring this, and we'll have information for you as we get it here on Dr. Don's Weather. The hail now, all of that's over in Georgia. And I would say Carroll, maybe. Hang on, let me look. I mean, these are very small pockets of hail. I don't see a large concentrated area. Anywhere you see the pink or the purple, could be penny-sized hail in those areas. Mount Zion up in Carroll County. Maybe just northeast of Bowden out there on 166. And that's pretty much it. Most of the lightning is now over in Georgia. So things have improved considerably across East Alabama. They still got some heavy rainfall out there on I-20 from Lincoln back toward Anniston and back up toward Muscadine and Cleburne. And stretching back down toward Ranburne, still some heavy rainfall also. But we give you the wide zoom shot here. This is looking at the Atlanta radar, and I'm going to turn that off and go back over to the composite. Yeah, I was fixing to say that wasn't current. I can zoom out and give you the entire southeastern United States, and you can see where the rain is. I mean, we're stretching from Lynchburg, Virginia, all the way down to near Charlotte, North Carolina, then into upstate South Carolina, across North Georgia, And the very tail end of all this, moving through East Alabama, and we look back west, there's just nothing out there. Now, here's the question. You see this cold front. This stretches from Abilene up to Memphis and then all the way back up to Michigan. Do we get anything along this line later today? I'm talking late this afternoon. And does it push into East Alabama or West Georgia? At the moment, I don't think that chance is very high. But we cannot completely rule out that possibility. So that's what we'll be watching for as we go throughout the remainder of the morning, the remainder of the day, and we'll keep an eye on that for you. But since all severe weather has ended, we're going to put this to bed. Holly says that she knew she recognized my voice. She lived in Montgomery from 85 through 2000. I was at WLWI with Rhubarb Jones in the 84, 85 era. I left Montgomery, I don't know, maybe early 85 and moved to Enterprise, Alabama, down in Coffee County. Went to work for WLHQ down there and eventually went over to WTVY in Dothan. But yeah, that was right about the time I was at I-92 in Montgomery, Alabama. James says, I remember the 80s very well, and 70s and 60s. Well, I'm with you, James. I remember the late 60s, 70s, and 80s very well. Susan, the line is moving east. It's moving from west to east. And at the moment, it doesn't look like LaGrange is going to see a whole lot. I mean, you've got some showers over there, and let me bring it current. You got some showers in Tallapoosa that may get into Chambers that could end up over in LaGrange, but the significant stuff is north of you, and it's moving east. It's not moving toward LaGrange, the heavy stuff. And when I rock it, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. I will say that stuff up there on I-20 is intensifying again. And that's going to end up over here in Douglas, Villa Rica, Peachtree City. But I don't think that makes it down here into LaGrange. Yeah, James, it can be. Now, you know, there are other factors that factor into that, that weigh into it. But in this type of setup we have this morning, the dark burgundy, the pinks, the purples, the burgundies, anything deeper than that really red color is pretty much an indication that there's some type of hail core going on. That is showing you the density of the precipitation in that cloud. So yes, in this particular setup, if you see black, if you see white, it's time to head somewhere else. That black and white is, you're getting up there around that softball size hail. Thank goodness we didn't see any of that this morning. Donald says his wife calls him the Rain Man because he is a weather nut. Well, welcome to the club. No power in Newell. Thank you for that report, Becca. Thanks, James. Good to meet you. I've been in Georgia. This is my second stint in Georgia. I lived here back in the late 80s, and then I came back in 2011. I'm a Central Alabama born and raised guy that's lived in Southeast Alabama, Atlanta area twice, and even did 2 years up in Chicago, Illinois. 2 very long years in Chicago, Illinois. But I'm up here in White County, Georgia, southwest corner of White County. I'm an emergency manager up here. I was in broadcast radio for many years in East Alabama, too. I was in Randolph County for 22 years. And so I have a huge following down there. That's why I do this live streaming for East Alabama and West Georgia during severe weather, because that area is kind of in no man's land as far as weather coverage is concerned. Birmingham cuts it off once it gets into Talladega County, and Atlanta typically doesn't pick it up until it hits Heard County. So we fill that gap between Birmingham and Atlanta with coverage for East Alabama and West Georgia. For those of you who scratch your head and try to figure out what the heck's a guy up in Northeast Georgia doing weather coverage for East Alabama, and it doesn't matter. I could be in Moose Jaw, Alaska. And I bet you folks that were born back in the 60s and 70s know what that term means. You younger folks have never heard of Moose Jaw, Alaska. But you literally could be anywhere in the world as long as you have internet access. You can do coverage just like you were sitting right there on Main Street in downtown Roanoke or downtown Lafayette or wherever, downtown LaGrange. We can do it from just about anywhere. I'm glad it's calming down for you, James. Donald's got to head to work. All right, folks, so here's the deal. Let me remind you, we're going to be broadcasting live at Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery in Wedowee, Alabama, next Saturday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. I've got NOAA weather radios I'm going to be giving away, and I hope you make your plans to come by and visit with us next Saturday from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m., and they're located on Highway 431 just north of downtown Wedowee, just north of Wedowee Building Supply. Everybody knows where that's at. If you're headed north, on the left, just north of Wedowee Building Supply, I invite you to come by and enjoy a great barbecue. They've got all kinds of barbecue. They're famous for their ice cream. They have a creamery there as well, so you got to come by and at least try the ice cream. Next Saturday is June 1st. It's opening day of hurricane season, so we're going to call it our Dr. Don Boondocks Hurricane Party, starting at 11 a.m. next Saturday morning at Boondocks in Wedowee, Alabama. I don't care where you are, across East Alabama or West Georgia. I hope you travel over and hang out with us. And, I love those neck hugs and handshakes, and you get to register for those NOAA weather radios. So be sure you stop by next Saturday morning starting at 11 a.m. at Boondocks Barbecue and Creamery. We're going to wrap this up. And, that was a mess, campfire exploring a couple of weeks ago. We're still cleaning up from that mess. We're going to wrap things up here and put this one to bed. Going to continue watching the weather for the possibility of reformation along that front later on this afternoon. And if that were to happen, then we'll be right back with wall-to-wall coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. Thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to support us, we depend on your support to be able to continue to do this. You can get in touch with me on Messenger. I'll show you how you do that. It's very easy. We have multiple different ways. You can go to our YouTube or Facebook page, either one, and click on one of our morning primetime forecasts. And there's all kind of links there that will show you exactly how you can support us. Facebook Stars is a good way to do it. You can go over to our weather store, pick up one of our coffee cups. That helps support us as well. So hope you'll do that. And, if we have to come back and do more coverage, we'll see you later on today. And if not, we'll see you back in here first thing Tuesday morning with your primetime forecast here on Dr. Don's Weather. Enjoy your Memorial Day.